This is Rudkowski of WeAreChange.org here at Anarcho Poco, and today we have a very special treat. We have Clive De Carle. I hope I said it right. I'm horrible at names. He's a national health practitioner. He has been blowing my mind with all the information he's been sharing, and it's really going to be a special treat to talk to him because, again, being the change that you want to see in this world begins with your health. And some of the information that, Clive, you've been sharing with me has been extremely fascinating. And I think the general conclusion is a lot of the problems that comes to our health is usually because of deficiencies within vitamins and minerals within ourselves, and it's really just that simple. But also the stories that you explained are so complicated, especially in our medical system.
Well, you're absolutely right. I mean, there are only three reasons why you can get ill in the first place. There's physical damage, you get knocked over by a bus, toxic poisoning, and we're all toxically poisoned because we're breathing and stuff like that. But nutrient deficiency is the big one. You know, as I think we all know, the food is not what it used to be. Our grandparents wouldn't recognize the food we're eating.
Can you talk about just some of the importance of being able to now have to have supplements in order to have kind of a healthy life?
Well, I mean, most people will recognize the following symptoms. Do you, for instance, get muscle cramps, maybe the backs of your legs or your feet? Do you have constipation? Do you find yourself being anxious or nervous? Do you have heart problems? Have you ever had a stroke? All these things are magnesium deficiencies. And in the workshop I did a couple of days ago, I asked the audience, how many of you just get muscle cramps in the backs of your legs or your feet? 3/4 of the room put their hand up. Now, if you got a muscle cramp of your heart muscle, well, they call those heart attacks. You know, it's a serious warning, and people miss it. You go to the doctor, they don't know what to do. You know, you think that the doctors know about health. They claim to be health experts, right? But they don't study health at medical school. It's not on the curriculum. They do half a day on minerals, vitamins, amino acids, essential fats, all the food groups, half a day. So when the doctor gets out their prescription pad, what they're really saying is, you're hopeless. I don't know what to do with you. I can't fix your problems, but I can maybe make the symptoms go away a little bit. Here's a drug, and preferably take this drug for the rest of your life.
The entire medical industry, I don't know how you see it, but do you see it as just corrupt, or just a force of just evil, or just misconceptions, or just total lack of knowledge?
Well, I believe that doctors join the medical profession generally because they have a beautiful heart, they want to help people, and they believe the science. They believe that when a doctor gives a medicine that it's going to work. It doesn't really occur to them that actually the efficacy rate of most medicines is 9%. So 91% of the time it doesn't do what it says on the box. But they don't know that when they're a student. So they go to medical school, and life is tough. The exams are so tough that what they have to do, and many medical doctors have told me this, is they cheat. They cheat on the exam. So right at the start of their medical career, their ethics and morals have been slightly twisted. But the reality is that most operations, most diseases are caused by deficiencies, because if you're getting muscle cramps, you've got a deficiency of magnesium. You can almost guarantee that. And magnesium costs nothing. You know, you can buy 20 kilos of magnesium for £20, $20, and that would last you a year, say. But if you're ill and you went to a doctor for an operation and all the rest of it, that amount might be $200,000. So where's the money in $20 worth of magnesium? There's a lot of money, obviously, in £200,000 worth of magnesium. And the thing is that, you know, I tested 600 people's magnesium levels last year. Turned out that everybody I tested was low, including me. I thought I was taking enough magnesium. No, I wasn't. If you had enough magnesium, I would say at least 30% of everybody's problems would disappear, maybe more. If you added vitamin C to that, now you've got the hospitals 70% empty. Let's say you added vitamin D, the sunshine vitamin, for the people who are living up north or not getting any sunshine. Now you've probably emptied 80% of the hospital beds. How much does vitamin D cost for a year's supply? Right now on eBay, for $10, including postage, you can buy a year's supply of vitamin D. So what if the governments, if they really cared about our health, decided to hand out vitamin D to everybody? Well, it would be great news for everybody except the cardiac surgeons and the rest of the doctors out there. So they deliberately don't teach the doctors about vitamin D. They don't teach them about magnesium because there wouldn't be any money left for the pharmaceutical industry. So the way I see it is the doctors start off pure-hearted, but after a while they go into practice now, and then every few minutes there's another patient and another patient. And there's that lovely old lady again. She came in last week, but she's not got better from the drugs. She's got worse. Now the next lovely person comes in, and they've got worse. So at the end of the day, these newly qualified doctors, if they really were caring at that point, they'd just be crying at the end of each day because they weren't being as effective as they believed they were going to be. So what happens if you can't allow yourself to care? Well, you cut off empathy. And the corruption, unfortunately, starts with the pharmaceutical industry.
You see the things that were happening before and how it's changing so rapidly in front of us, and it's like the solution's so simple, but yet even the solutions are complicated, like you were telling me about with vitamin C predominantly coming from China and being GMO from corn. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's also a lot of pitfalls in some of the solutions when it even comes to getting the right vitamins and minerals that will help you.
Well, this is absolutely true. I mean, if you go to a supermarket thinking that you're going to get a good quality of vitamin, you're probably mistaken. Most of the vitamin and mineral companies have now been bought out by the pharmaceutical industry, or in England, the armaments industry owns a lot of the biggest health companies. But I mean, the way it should be is the opposite way to now. If dentists and doctors were paid by not doing work, we'd all be fine. But you go to a dentist, they don't get paid if they do nothing. They only get paid if they do something to you, which is so wrong. And it encourages people to have unnecessary work done.
What do you think is the biggest kind of misconception about our bodies and our health that is being pushed against the people?
Well, I mean, there are a number. I mean, let's give one, for example. We've been told for many, many years that fat is bad. Cholesterol is evil and must be avoided at all costs. But they don't teach doctors, it seems, what your brain's made of. Your brain is mainly water. Okay, so if you're dehydrated, your eyesight isn't going to be so good, your thinking isn't going to be so clear. But let's say we took the water out and now we've got the wobbly bit of brain left. What's that made from? It's fat. It's mainly cholesterol. Our brains are made of cholesterol. So it wasn't that long ago when Professor Alzheimer, for the first time, saw this new brain-wasting disease called and he had to call it after himself. Nobody ever seen it before. And Alzheimer's has a real cause in people were told to eat low cholesterol. People started eating margarine instead of butter. They started, instead of cooking in the old-fashioned way, let's say with animal fats or with butter, they started cooking with refined oils, like refined sunflower oil, peanut oil, canola, which is genetically modified. And the moment they started doing that and taking those bad oils into their bodies, then their brains started being made of bad oils. And in the case of Alzheimer's and dementia, literally holes appeared where the brain ought to be. Another big misconception is salt. We've been told, well, salt will raise your blood pressure. Salt is very bad for you. So a lot of people don't add salt to their food. Now, the salt that they were warning us about was table salt, that fine-running powdery salt, sodium chloride. That's seriously dangerous. You wouldn't want to consume that. So a lot of people, knowing that already, maybe are now eating sea salt. But if we went down to the ocean over there and we dried out some ocean, what we're going to be left with is grey and damp. But of course people don't want to buy grey and damp salt. They want nice white, fluffy, dry stuff. So the industry takes that natural grey salt, bleaches it, heats it up to a huge temperature to drive off the magnesium. And we were talking earlier how everybody's low on magnesium. So they take the magnesium out because magnesium attracts water into salt. So if you want to be really healthy, one of the best things you could do would be to eat real, unprocessed raw salt, which would be grey and damp. So you can't put it in a grinder because it would clog it up. But it's very good finger exercise. You get a good finger muscle thing going. I mean, there's a very interesting example, actually, of iodine. When the settlers moved into the Midwest, coming towards California, they got into the middle of the USA and they had thyroid problems. They got goiters. It was called the goiter belt. And their necks swelled up as their thyroid got bigger and bigger, trying to grab the iodine from the air, because iodine is made by the seaside. We're breathing in lots of iodine now because of all the seaweed. a good example of why iodine is so important is the American government, when they realized there was this thyroid epidemic going on, this was a couple of hundred years ago or something, they insisted that salt should be iodized. They should add iodine to the salt, and that bread should be iodized. Then, I think maybe it was about 1976, the food industry or the pharmaceutical lobby got the American government to drop that law, and they created at that point the thyroid epidemic, which is now rampant, particularly with women.
Thank you so much for sharing with us. I know you could go on for hours. You gave a 3-hour workshop 2 days in a row with just the most fascinating information. I kind of want to leave you with the last word, but also predominantly, where can people find out more information about you? How can people help you? How can people get involved with the research and all the films and all the documentaries and all the stuff that you're doing?
Well, thank you. I've made a point over the last few years of interviewing the best natural health experts I can find, be it doctors and non-doctors, and I've got a YouTube channel. If you just put my name, which is Clive De Carle, that's CLIVEDE, and another word, CARLE, Clive De Carle, you will find many of these videos. The last one I put out was about light and how light can heal you. And I love being healed with light because it's free. Yeah. I really like the free and the cheap solutions. And the thing to understand is that the solutions are usually very simple and easy to understand, inexpensive, easy to apply. And beyond that, they can go to my website, which is clivedecarle.com. And I see clients from time to time, usually over Skype, because I like to travel and I'm in England. And I give talks and workshops. And
Clive's link will be in the description of this video, especially to his YouTube channel, because he's probably going over to the same problems that we are with YouTube censorship and squashing him down. Not a surprise there. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, share it with your friends and family members. Thank you again so much for watching and being a part of real independent media. And also don't forget to upvote this post and this video on Steemit, which of course supports us with cryptocurrencies and actually lets us be alive. We're also going to get Clive on Steemit. Hopefully by this time, by the video's out, we're also going to have Clive's Steemit account on there, so we can be free and independent and being able to share real information with you that you probably won't hear anywhere else. I love you guys. Thank you again so much for watching.